Good evening everybody, how's everybody doing? Hope you're all well and good. Welcome back to my.mbuna UK. Purpose of today's video is I've got worming to do. On the new shipment of mbuna, just routine for the mason reef and true chindunga, the Shinna tilapia zebroid and donga, also just routine. However, the petro tilapia yellow chin mbuna I do believe is in need of worming. He has quite a dip to his stomach. I'm just trying to get the angle to him, but he's playing hard to get, the little bugger. There we go, he's got quite a dip to his belly and I want to get that sorted. I believe that may be down to worms. Also, one of the lads from the fish keeping community near me, Callum, he's asked me how he goes about it. So bear with me 1 second while I position this camera and I'll show you how I medicate my food. First up, I'll go up what we need in order to medicate our food to worm the mbuna. This is the product I'm going to be using, Cloverleaf Absolute Wormer Plus. You're going to need a set of digital scales to get your dose right. You're going to need a container with a little tank water in order to mix the medicated food in. I'm doing 2 tanks, so I need 2 containers to mix 2 separate doses of medicated food in. Also, the food that you're going to be using, I'm going to be using this for the main amount of fish in the tanks. I'm then also going to soak a couple of wafers for the petro tilapia yellow chin mbuna because they are huge and I do believe they need the treatment, whereas the others, it is just routine and not really a massive urgency to getting them done, whereas the petros, yeah, I do believe there's a little touch of urgency to that. Let me get this camera positioned and I will be back. Right, I hope you can see everything I'm doing here. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get a little tank water, a tiny touch in the first container. It is literally just a dribble. I don't know if you can see that. Just a tiny little touch. You're only going to be making a paste. Next up, digital scales. Get them turned on. Make sure they're turned to 0 and make sure they're down to the gram. This treats 454 litres for 1 gram of water for 1 gram of product. With water displacement, that's round about right for me. I'm not too worried about overdosing with this stuff. I think it's pretty difficult to overdose with it. One thing I will say about this, if you have fry or any inverts in your tank, do not use this one. There's a separate cloverleaf that's suitable. So for fry, if you have inverts, snails, etc., do not use this one. Anyway, so we want 1 gram. You're going to get your container, you're going to get the product out. And you're going to measure out 1 gram. Once you've got the medication weighed out, as simple as getting it into the bowl, adding the same amount of food that you'd feed the fish normally. Give it a good mix in. Any medication that the food hasn't soaked in, is just going to release and treat the water column as it would be. If you were treating the water column as normal. In the end, you're going to have a pasty like substance that looks a little like this. This now goes direct into your tank. Follow me. Right, we're here, we're in front of the tank and we're ready to treat. You've got your container with the medication in and the food. It's as simple as getting the container with the food into the water. The fish are going to take the food in with the medication soaked into it. That's going to get to the guts quicker than it will be by going through the water column and soaking through the gills. Now in 7 days, when it comes to your water change, you need to make sure that you thoroughly, and I mean thoroughly, clean your sand. Any parasites that this medication is now pushing out of your fish will be getting excreted out of the rear ends into the substrate, and as you know, mbuna will shift sand all day, all night, and take them parasites back on board. That's how I do it with flake. Bear with me 1 second and I'll show you how I'm going to target the big lad. So this is how I'm going to target the big lad. Bear in mind, we've just treated that tank, so these wafers will soak overnight and I will target the big lad tomorrow. Scales on, make sure they're tiered. I'm going to go half dose with this because, like I've just said, I've already dosed the tank and I'm only targeting the petros. So half dose, which is half a gram. In touch, and I mean a touch of tank water. Get it mixed in. Here we go, lovely bloody jubbly. Now 2 wafers. I can hand feed these to the petros, this is why I'm choosing this. And we're just going to drop 2 in. I've got 2 chances at getting it into them then. And I'm going to leave that soak until overnight. Next tank, I'll show you how to do this quickly. Again, it's 450 litres, so it's going to be a gram of medication. Tear me scales. Gram of product measured out. Tiny touch of tank water, just a touch. Medication. Mix it in. Get it as dissolved as you can in that little touch of water. Get your food, the same amount that you'd feed the tank as normal. Get it in. Get it mixed. Now you can leave that soak for a bit to make sure you get a decent amount of the medication soaked into the food. But as this is for a video, an instructional video, I'm just doing it double quick. That's the next tank's mixed up. 1 second, follow me and we'll go and get the other tank treated. Right, here we are. Next tank, got the solution in the container, the fish are ready to go. As simple as getting it in to the water column. let the fish get at the food, let the rest of the medication get into the water column, and your fish are wormed. I hope you find that useful. I hope it makes it a little bit easier for you to get your tank wormed and get the best out of your mbuna. Thanks for joining me. This is John, Simply Mbuna UK. See you Sunday for the Sunday rant.